How's everyone doing? Welcome back to another episode of The Banker Next Door. I'm your host, Dr. Joe Berquist. Today, we're going to be looking at an article from Banking Dive related to Customers Bank and the lessons that they've learned from this changing crypto regulatory environment. So, for anybody that doesn't know, Customers Bank is a somewhat smaller-ish bank. They're about somewhere between 20 to 22 billion in asset size. They're located over here in Eastern Pennsylvania, not far from where I'm at. I've kind of followed customers through their journey over, the last 15, 20 years or so as they have evolved as a bank. But last year, they got hit with an enforcement order from the Philadelphia Federal Reserve Bank related to their digital assets. So that, and I was kind of curious as to, well, what's going on? How are they dealing with all that? How are things happening? Obviously, a lot of changes over the last 8 months with changing administration, presidential administration, changing attitude, obviously towards crypto, towards stable coins, new regulation in place. So I thought this article was really interesting, and I'm going to bring this up here. So this is titled, Customers CEO Talks Lessons Learned from Fed Enforcement Action. After investing to strengthen its risk management practices, the Pennsylvania Bank now seeks to jump on the favorable atmosphere for digital asset activities. So, and again, a little bit more backstory here. So the big crypto banks heading into 2023 were obviously Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank Signature Bank located up in New York. Customers at that point in time was just kind of dabbling in cryptocurrency a little bit. And with the kind of spectacular implosion of Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank in the spring of 2023, that really left a void in, kind of the marketplace for banks that were particularly dealing with crypto. And not only that, Silvergate Bank, their failure in that time period as well, left a very kind of big gap. A lot of banks at that point in time got really scared and didn't want to get involved in crypto. And then, but customers, they, kind of jump full throttle into the crypto and digital asset space, basically saying that, hey, they saw an opportunity. They wanted to jump on it. They wanted to get in there. And in doing so, they ended up getting hit with an enforcement action around a lot of kind of like BSA, AML type stuff from the Philadelphia Federal Reserve Bank. And I think it's fair to say a lot of bankers around the country probably watching, probably a little bit of, hey, I told you so, at the moment. So that's to give everybody kind of a little backstory there on what had transpired and what had occurred from 23 to 24. And now this article is going to kind of catch us up here as to what has been going on. So let's read in here. So much has changed in the years since the Federal Reserve hit Customers Bank with an enforcement action related to its digital asset strategy. Since that regulatory clampdown, Malvern, Pennsylvania-based Customers has added dozens of employees, improved processes, and built an infrastructure befitting a large institution, according to CEO Sam Sidhu. Meanwhile, the Trump administration's views toward cryptocurrency and calls for clear rules and regulations around digital assets have prompted more Capitol Hill and corporate chatter around stablecoins. I think that it's safe to say our regulators' bar was higher than our bar last year. Our bar is now higher than our regulators' bar this year, particularly from a process perspective, said Sam Sidhu during a recent interview. Now, with a more robust risk framework, Customers seeks to capitalize on expected industry tailwinds in the digital asset realm. The lender offers banking services to digital asset customers and operates an instant payment platform, KubiX, allowing commercial clients to make tokenized payments over a distributed ledger technology system. As part of the Fed's enforcement action, Customers was ordered to notify the central bank before launching any new service or relationship with third parties tied to its digital asset strategy. The work the bank has done has now created a multi-year moat for Customers Bank for someone to build an infrastructure of technology and a customer base like ours, Sam Sidhu said. In light of regulatory developments such as the Genius Act, Sadhu said the bank aims to grow its wallet share with customers and add new customers. July was QBX's most active month to date with 20% higher deposit balances, he said. The bank processed 1.5 trillion in payments volume related to digital asset customers last year. It's tracking closer to 2 trillion for 2025, he said. Those are some massive numbers. I mean, again, you think about the size of this bank. This, again, like I said, this is a $22 billion asset bank, and they're processing 1.5 to $2 trillion in digital payments. I mean, that's pretty amazing. So Sam Sadhu, the bank CEO, will become CEO of Customers Bank Corp beginning January 1st, 2026, when his father, Jay Sadhu, retires, the lender said in July. Jay Sadhu will become executive chairman at the time. Now, again, for anybody who doesn't really know, and unless you were in the PA market or maybe the tri-state area, you wouldn't really know. Jay Sadhu is a legend. He's a legend in the banking business over here. He originally kind of created and built up Sovereign Bank, which got sold to Santander. Then, Jay went and he bought another bank and then built it up over the years. And then it kind of, after a few acquisitions, turned into Customers Bank. So Jay is just a legend in the banking industry over here. I give Jay a lot of kudos for just having an incredible banking career. But now he's going to be turning the reins over to his son, Sam. So, and then, it says here, Jay Sadhu has been with the company since 2009, purchasing distressed a New Century Bank, renaming it and growing its assets from $250 million to about $22 billion today. So Sam Sadhu has been president and CEO of Customers Bank since June or July of 2021 and will retain those titles before becoming CEO of the bank. He was chief operating officer and served on the bank's board for 8 years. He will retain his role as president of Customers Bank Corp once he adds the CEO title. So his transition to CEO of the holding company was announced 5.5 years ago, and getting it right is important, Sam Sadhu said. He pointed to e-commerce giant Amazon as an example of a CEO transition done well, while some other companies have seen an executive chair return to the CEO role 3 or 4 times. We want to be known as the company that does it incredibly well, said Sam Sadhu, who was a private equity and real estate investor and executive prior to joining the bank. When asked about managing perceptions of nepotism among any employees, shareholders, or board members, Sam Sadhu said, at the end of the day, it's all about execution. Over the past 5 years, he sought to grow the bank's reputation in niches such as fund finance, venture banking, fintech banking, and more recently, digital assets and payments. I think it's safe to say I have earned the respect of our internal stakeholders and our external stakeholders, including our investors and our board, he said. Through the Fed's enforcement action, Customers leadership has learned to build a strong risk foundation independent of the current regulatory environment, Sam Sadhu said. Also crucial, close communication with bank regulators, especially with newer high-risk areas like digital assets. It's essential to give regulators the rundown, stay engaged with them, and discuss where the bank is now and where it wants to be down the road, the CEO said. To some extent, Customers did a better job of that with its venture banking business than with its digital asset business, Sam noted. The digital asset perception of the recent past was that the industry may not exist in another year, and as such, we and our regulators didn't spend enough time charting a future path, he said. So again, or I said, as we continue on. So as Customers has worked to correct its course, the bank has added about 36 employees with an eye toward bolstering risk and compliance. Sam said the bank has also hired a number of consultants. He estimated the bank has spent between $10 million and $15 million to address enforcement action related issues. Among the bank's hires was a new chief risk officer, Nick Robinson, who joined Customers last September from Capital One. Robinson, in turn, brought on a half dozen executives from that bank, Sam said. We're taking that type of team-based approach, not just on the deposit generating or the lending side, but also on the revenue enablement side, Sam said. He also noted the bank's chief financial officer, chief credit officer, and chief marketing officer all hailed from larger institutions. Customers CFO Mark McCollum had been the finance chief at Fulton Financial until his February 2024 resignation. He joined Customers in June. And So again, it seems like right now customers is really gearing up. I would say in over the next what I would say 10 years, it sounds like they really want to make a run at growing up to probably 100 million in overall assets. They really want to become one of the major players in the crypto space in the banking business. Obviously, everything it seems is going in their favor right now. While they may still be under this enforcement action, just everything has changed. I mean, with the change in the presidential administration, the regulators' whole attitude toward crypto and stable coins has changed. Obviously, a lot of the new legislation with the Genius Act is some of the other bills that are hopefully will get passed here in the next few months. A lot of really positive things happening in the crypto space, the crypto world right now. So and customers obviously has a much larger lead on many other banks right now that may just be thinking about dipping their toes into the crypto space. So again, it's very interesting. I'm going to continue to follow Customers Bank's progress here, particularly as it relates to digital assets. I think Customers Bank has a very interesting business model. They're a very unique bank that looks to do some very unique things. And I see a lot of, hopefully good things happening to them in the future and a lot of positive growth in the years ahead. But like I said, we will see. Like I said, I'll keep an eye on this. And, we'll see, again, it'll be interesting to see if they add any new crypto related products in the near future. When exactly this enforcement action will end on them. So, but like I said, I will keep an eye on it and I'll report back and with, anything that I found. So with that being said, I will wrap up by saying, if you like this episode, please make sure to like, share, and subscribe, as that really helps the channel. Remember, we are on YouTube, Rumble, and all major podcast platforms. Please be sure to leave your comments down below, as I always love getting back to everybody. And as always, make sure to check out some of the other content on the channel. I thank you so much for listening. I will be back to everybody again real soon. Take care.